Today I am at the Goodwill at the corner of Lawrenceville Highway and North Druid Hills Road in Decatur, Georgia. This is a nice store, and it is also usually crawling with resellers. You know, you can spot them. They're not just shopping, they are looking up every item on their phones, on Google Lens, just to see what, they are, what they're worth. So I'm one of them. And because of that, there's a lot of competition at the store. I'm not really expecting to do very well here, but I'm still popping in because I was in the area. I do not need any coffee cups or plates or dishes. I just have been overbuying all that. I really need something else. Now, if I were to see something really special, like some Fire King coffee cups, I would, of course I'd get that, but short of that, I just really need to be careful on how much kitchen stuff I'm buying. However, my coworker Nancy texted me yesterday and said that I sold a set of kitchen canisters. It was the yellow ceramic ones with the daisies on top, on the lids, and they are just so adorable. It was a viewer who bought them. I'm not sure who the viewer is, but if you're watching, thank you so much for coming to our store and purchasing something from us. I'm so glad that those beautiful kitchen canisters got a new home with someone who will love them forever. So also the fact that I sold a set of kitchen canisters means that I have a big spot, because kitchen canisters take up a lot of room on your shelving unit. So that means I have a big open spot. So let's head into this store today and see if we can find anything good. Starting off in books, here is a really interesting looking Fiesta book. So it's for collectors or resellers like me. Do love Fiesta at $2.92. Books just aren't moving very well for me, however. So I'm going to leave that. Here's some big, heavy, chunky glasses. I think these are probably Fostoria. $1.39 a piece. There's a bunch of them. This is something where, if I buy this, it will just probably sit for a while. So I'm going to leave them behind. And I'm making my way down the baskets and wooden aisle. I could probably really use some baskets on my bottom shelves in my booth, and so I'm always looking for higher quality ones that are the right shape. There's some faux flowers. Those are actually pretty. I generally don't like fake flowers, but I like that little display. Oh, this is adorable. I like the combination of wood and metal on this sweet Easter bunny. $3.09. But it's new. I try to stick to vintage when I can. Let's move along to plastics. I'm usually looking for Tupperware, although it's not been selling as well for me as it used to. I'm also looking for things that might have been accidentally placed in the plastics aisle that aren't plastic. Oh, here's a perfect example of something that is not plastic. $1.09 for this pretty little Navajo bud vase. The price sticker has been tampered with. I hope that's not a problem. I really want to get this little guy. All right, I found a cute handmade wooden box, and it's interesting. It's $3.09, and it has a wood burned stamp on it. So I think I'm just gonna put this in the cart and think about it. Here's some Delft. Unfortunately, the windmill blade is busted on that. People love Delft to come into our store, I've noticed. Let's see, this is a newer made in China piece. I thought it might be some Tonala pottery, but it's not. Moving on to pots and pans. I'm looking for Corningware lids. If I could ever find any Pyrex that wasn't terribly dishwasher damaged, I would be looking for Pyrex lids as well, but I can never find Pyrex anymore. Not for a decent price, not for a price that I can, justify to be able to resell. And if I do find it at Goodwill, it's in terrible shape. All right, my favorite aisle, plates. I don't need dishes, but I have to look. Here's some false graph. I really like this pattern. I can't remember the name of the pattern off the top of my head. Please jump in the comments if you do remember, but None of this appears to be marked. Goodwill does not generally sell things as a set, and if they do, they tape it all up together. All right, what else in plates today? Here's an interesting looking speckled stoneware casserole dish, and the price tag has been completely messed up. And a creamer, a little pottery creamer. I can't see the maker because the sticker's covering it, but plus there's no sugar bowl, so I might as well just leave that. Brown is just not a super popular color anyway. Here's some like mountain cabin looking cups. This is cool. This will do well in our store because it's in the North Georgia mountains. Grab another one. But some of them say Jenny Phipps Retreat. So the fact that these are personalized means I'm going to have to leave them behind. If it just had the cabin, I'd get it. I thought this might be Blue Ridge pottery, but it's not. It's $3.09, and it looks like it says made in Japan on the bottom. There's a sticker. I like this though. It's really pretty. It doesn't seem to have any chips or anything. I think I'm gonna leave it behind. There's only one of them. A cute little butterfly vase. All right, anything else in plates? I do not need plates, but here I am. Of course, I had to look. These corn on the cob dishes do sell, but they sit for a while. 69 cents a piece isn't a terrible price on these. They usually sell for $4 or $5 a piece. Some pretty china if you're into the flowery, fancy china. Imperial china, made in Japan. It's pretty. Don't need cups and saucers. It's a newer piece. On this little ashtray, it looks mid-century. It's $1.99. I just like ashtrays. You would think that I smoke cigarettes, but I don't. I just, for some reason, am drawn to them. The mid-century ones in glass. I don't need any coffee cups. I don't know what I am doing looking, but here we are. Look at the pretty stamp on these. I think that these might be Sango stoneware. Well, there are two of them, and I like this 80s looking pattern. They're $1.09 a piece, so that's actually not bad. Usually coffee cups are $1.39 at this Goodwill, and the pattern apparently is called Primavera. I'm just going to think about these for a while. I do like them. Don't need coffee cups. Are these pink vintage glass? Oh, they're pretty with a swirl pattern. Nope, they are IKEA. Nothing against IKEA. I love IKEA, but I'm trying to stay true to my vintage or older, with very rare exceptions. Lots of glasses for drinking beer. Else? Lots of clear glass, just like, tons of it on the shelves. Let's see, is this little red speckled enamel? It is not. So I'm going to leave that. I would probably get that if it was an enamel. Some pretty holiday glasses. I've seen people make candles out of those, the gold trim. This poor girl looks shell-shocked that it's her wedding day. Moving on to art, here is a portrait of Jesus with blue eyes. Probably not historically accurate on the eye color. Let's see. I don't have any room for artwork in the booth, but I could kind of use some at home. So I am looking to see what's here today. Not a lot. It's a cute little handmade painting with a cat and hanging plants. $2.09. I love hanging plants and I love cats. This is really cute, whatever it is. Got a little smudge on it though. It's signed. I'm gonna leave it behind, even though I do really like it. It's a pretty painting as well. This is not vintage, but I just really like the looks of this teapot. $4.09. And I like that the knob on the top is a flower. I found this really pretty green hand painted plate, and ordinarily I would pass right by this kind of stuff, but since decorative plate walls are like the big trend right now, that's signed by the person who made it, and it's just really well done. No chips or cracks. $3.99. I'm gonna get this. Yeah, so I have an idea for creating a plate wall in my booth. I will tell you more about that when I get home today. But I think I'm gonna do that and then just sell plates on my plate wall. This is interesting. An enamel teapot with a wooden base, $6.09. I have no idea what this is. I'm not sure. Kind of has a vintage look to it, but I am not sure if it is. I think I'm just gonna put it in the cart, look it up when I get a chance. I don't know why I like this candle. No price, just like the shape. Some pretty salt and pepper shakers, made in Japan. Delicate little white flower design around the top, and then they appear to have like a white gold trim on them, perhaps. It's really pretty. There's two different price tags on one of them, but I will see if I can get both of them for the one with the lower price tag. This is pretty, a little votive. I do need stuff other than dishes, y'all, but there is no price sticker on this either. Otherwise, I would probably get it because I like it. Little studio pottery compote, $1.39. So just because it's studio pottery does not mean, that you should buy it. You have to consider the craftsmanship. If you're going to buy studio pottery pieces, like here's a good example. This little cup, it's signed studio pottery, but it's a beginner piece, so I'm gonna leave that behind. It's a 1980s looking kitchen canister with no lid for $4. Alrighty. This is a soft boiled egg holder. It's not, I guess it's a shot glass. Soft boiled egg holders sell, especially if they're, interesting looking or pretty. Pretty little snowman bell and a sugar ball, $1.09. As much as I like these, I'm gonna put them back. I just really do not need to be buying any coffee cups until I sell some. So I'm gonna leave these for somebody else. I really do like the pattern on those though. Those 1980s patterns, just because I am into the 1980s, not everybody is exactly. So I'm gonna go ahead and head to the register. Got my cute little ashtray, my little bud vase. I hope that my messed up tags are not gonna be a problem, but we'll just have to go to the register and see what happens. I decided to get the wooden box. I just really like it. I think it's very unique, and my intent today was to find things other than dishes, so I think I did somewhat okay with that. I'm going to get the sugar bowl. I have no idea what it is, but I like it, and I'm going to get it. And the salt pepper shakers. All right, so I think I did okay. I didn't go overboard. The cashier was nice enough to take like his employee card and swipe it through his cash register for the messed up price tags, and then he was able to manually enter in the amount. That did not happen the last time I went to a different Goodwill. The lady said she'd have to call a manager, and there were like 15 people in line and one register open, so you know. And I also have a ton of fragile stuff, which means that a lot of times that, you know, I'm the only one in the line who has stuff that needs to be wrapped up, and all of that takes time. So that was a pretty good trip. I have no idea why I keep buying single sugar bowls without creamers, but I think I just need to label them different, like label them as little storage jars. I just love them. They're so cute. I don't know, I just keep getting them. But when I get home, I'm going to try to filter everything for sold prices so that I can give you a better idea of how much these items are selling for online, and not just how much people are listing them for online. So that's what I'm going to do in today's haul, in an effort to try to improve the information in my videos. So let's head home. Okay, so this is the reason why I think that you should get these beautiful decorative plates if you find them for a good price. It's because these plate walls that people are making seem to be like a huge trend right now. In the past, I would have probably walked right by this without even giving it a closer look. In fact, I was at that Goodwill a couple months ago, and I saw a hand-painted plate and looked at it in the video, and I regretted not getting that one. I think that one was Portuguese. So this one was just an American made by someone named Betty, and she named her piece Pansies of Jekyll, which refers to Jekyll Island, Georgia. I just think it's really well done, and I think she did a lovely job on this. You can see the pretty details on the edging. So I wanted to show you here a couple of pictures of plate walls that I really like. I know that the blue and white plate walls are really popular right now. I actually like the idea of doing one that looks more like kitschy, like the Japanese stoneware patterns that I like so much from the 70s. So here's a picture of something like that I think is really pretty. And I also like plate walls with plates of different colors. So not everything the same, like not everything blue and white or not everything red and white. So anyway, I think this is a really cool idea, and I've actually decided that I want to make a plate wall in my antique booth, and I'm going to do it on that pegboard wall. What that means is I'm going to have to take some stuff down, and I may actually take that massive painting that I have in the booth. Please ignore my enormous head in this clip. This was the best clip I could find to show you what my wall looks like where I want to put my new plate wall. I don't actually have enough plates yet, so I guess you know what that means. I need to go thrifting and find some more plates. But my husband went to Home Depot today before work, and he said he would get me some of the plate hangers that I need to be able to hang these up on my plate wall. So that's my plan. If I have to take my painting out for a while, that's okay. I think that painting is going to take me a long time to sell. That painting is a picture of the grist mill, which is currently located in Stone Mountain Park. The grist mill was eventually from Fannin County, which is Blue Ridge, and that's the county directly north of Gilmer, which is where my antique shop is. That painting is meaningful, and it's local for people who have cabins in LJ or in Blue Ridge, because that grist mill originally stood in Fannin County. And so that's where it's from, even though now it's in Stone Mountain Park and it's sort of like a tourist attraction. But yeah, that grist mill is water powered. All right, so for the green plate, I paid $3.99 for it, and I'm going to price it at $22 because it is unique. there was not a listing that, of course, would be exactly like this. So I'll just show you a sold listing on eBay here, a similar looking plate. I am trying to beat the prices that I see on eBay and Etsy if I can, you know. It depends on how much I paid for something, whether I can or not. And I also am giving the customer the immediate satisfaction of having their item as opposed to them having to wait on it to be shipped to them. In this video, I'm going to share with you actual eBay sold listings. I noticed that Crazy Lamp Lady, Jocelyn, used eBay sold listings in her videos to determine value while she's actually shopping, you know, in the thrift store and the antique stores. And I want to, instead of giving you, you know, just what these things are listed for, that doesn't mean what they sold for. So that's what I'm going to do going forward. And I hope that's helpful. All right, next up was the hand-painted wooden box, and it has a nice wood burn stamp on the bottom by the artisan. His name is Jim Delafave. And I could not find anything about him online. I think that this is also just kind of a one-of-a-kind piece. It was $3.09. I'm gonna try 18 on this. Just very rustic and pretty. And I just love the daisy on it. It's super cute. All right, next is the mystery sugar bowl. I've told you in videos before that I don't like to remove the sticker off the bottom because it makes the item difficult to ring up for someone who comes behind you and wants to buy it. When I got home, I was able to see the stamp, and I'm going to show you a picture here of the stamp because if I show you a picture, you'll be able to see what it says better than if I just hold this up in the video. So here's what the stamp says, and it says Pyrex, porcelain Pyrex. And I was like, what in the world is that? Because I'm kind of a Pyrex nerd. Like, I'm one of those people who takes it very seriously. And well, it's because I love it. I can't ever find it, you know, out in the wild anymore for a decent price because Goodwill doesn't put it on their shelves. They put it in their online auctions. What I did was I got on a couple of my Pyrex Facebook groups and I put a picture of this, put a picture of the stamp, and you know, I couldn't find anything online about this. I couldn't find a visual match. I couldn't find any information on what the stamp means other than AI basically just telling me that this is either a piece of knockoff Pyrex. I think that's what this is. And it's so bizarre. I just really don't know. Usually when you get on one of those groups and post something and you're asking for help, usually people will jump in right away because they want to share their knowledge and be the first to answer the question, you know. But I've been sitting here for a couple hours now and no one has chimed in. I have to assume that this is just knockoff Pyrex, and that's so crazy. If I'm wrong on that, just let me know. I mean, it was only $1.09, so it's not like I spent a bunch of money on it or anything, but it's just a dud, I think. Now, I don't use sugar in my cooking, but I do use like garlic powder, onion powder, and good quality salt all the time. So on my stovetop, I like to have little decorative things that I store spices in, even though I don't store sugar. So I'm considering just trying to give my customers some different ideas on what to do with something like this, other than just a sugar bowl, because I can go out and buy sugar bowls and coffee creamers all day long with sets because I absolutely love them, but people don't really put out coffee service anymore, or tea service. I don't. When I make my coffee, I just pour my half and half out of the carton and that's that. So anyway, I think this is just a dud. I think it's knockoff Pyrex. I do like it though. It's got a nice swirl pattern on it. I just like the milk glass look of it. And it's interesting. The finish is very matte. It's not glossy. And the lid is glossy. So it's the mystery dish for sure. I should also say If I get some information from the groups that I posted that in, I will go in the comments and let you know there what I found out. But if you know anything, please jump in the comments and let all of us know. We're here to help each other. Next up, the signed Navajo ceramic blood vase is just lovely. The price sticker was messed up, but he was able to override that and enter it by hand. I'm going to show you one here, a sold listing. It sold for $19, but the shipping was $7, so that's not really $19. That's $26, and I want to beat that. I also want to be realistic about what my customers are willing to pay in my store in our neck of the woods in North Georgia. And I think that I can get $18 for this bud vase. If I can get $18 for this, then I'm still doing really well because it was only $1.09. Now, I didn't know what this was because the sticker was over the bottom of it, but I think I just did a quick Google lens on it in the store and saw that it was selling for high prices online. It's not vintage, even though it does sort of have a vintage vibe to it. Enamel ware is really popular in North Georgia. Now that I can see the stamp, it's clearly new. This is a new piece, and it's by Hearth and Hand, and it's a cocoa pot. I don't think it was ever used because it has its instructions how to use and care for your cocoa pot, your hot cocoa pot. I think it's really pretty. I like the wooden base. This sold listing that I'm going to show you here, it sold recently on eBay for $20 plus $10 shipping, so that's $30. Since I paid $6.09 on this, and I really feel that you need to be able to mark your items up at least 4 times to be able to make it in this business. Ideally more than 4 times, but there are some people who disagree with me on that. But I'm going to put 26 on that. That way I will be able to get 4 times what I have into it, even after I pay the 10% commission to the store. Salt and pepper shakers are another one of my obsessions. I just really like them. I don't have a lot of them because they tend to sell really quickly in my booth. And these are Crown Victoria. The pattern is called Lovelace. I'm not sure if this rim is white gold or not, but it sure is pretty. They have a stamp on the bottom that says Japan. I pointed out that there was 2 price stickers on one of them, and he gave me them for $1.39 a piece, the lesser price, which was nice. So these were $2.78, and I will put $20 on this pair. Just very lovely. It's really hard to see the Lovelace pattern, but it is so pretty. These have a mid-century modern shape to them, even though they have a fancy design on them. I just love it when styles are combined in interesting ways. Okay, and the last piece for you today is this little vintage ashtray with a mid-century modern shape. It was $1.99, and I will put $12 on it. So I just like it. I'm not a smoker, but for some reason I like vintage ashtrays a lot. It's strange. All right, well, I hope that you found today's video valuable. I do have a cat of the day. I'm going to do that in just a second. All right, today's cat of the day is a rare orange tabby female and her kittens. This is Peaches and her kittens. All right, it says, babies on board. If your female cat isn't spayed and roams near male cats, there's a good chance she'll become pregnant. And since cats are only pregnant for around 60 to 67 days, it can be easy to overlook the signs and suddenly find yourself up to your elbows in kittens. Aside from her belly looking bigger, some common indicators include her heat cycles stopping, eating more than usual, staking out a nesting area for her kittens, and even morning sickness, which cats can experience just like humans. Any of these symptoms warrant an appointment with your vet. So again, this is a rare orange females. Orange tabbies are almost always statistically males. So there's Peaches and her babies. I do have a very short pet outtake of you, just of Bear being sweet. I do have a little bit of news about Bear. I took him to a vet the other day, and she is a recommended surgeon for the nostril or nares and palate surgery for French bulldogs or English bulldogs or pugs, any other type of flat-faced breed that has trouble breathing. And so she was referred to me by someone that I trust who runs a rescue, who has taken several of her flat-faced dogs there for this surgery. He got his blood work done, and his blood work came back that normal, so he's safe for anesthesia, and his surgery is on May 21st. So apparently it's going to be hard because he's going to have to wear one of the large plastic cones. It can't be a donut. It's going to have to be one of the big plastic cones, and he has to wear it for 2 weeks while his nostrils heal, or else he'll rip out the stitches on his nostrils. So apparently it is life-changing once the recovery is over. It greatly improves their snoring, their breathing, and their tendency to overheat because it opens up their airway, both their nostrils and their airway in the back of their throat. So anyway, this is just some footage of Bear, a quick little pet outtake. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and you enjoy this type of content. And as always, I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.
The vet today. They loved him so much. He's such a good boy. He's not afraid of the vet or anything like that. Hey, Callie, do you want me to throw that for you? Cal? Do you want me to throw that for you? You gotta let me have it. You gotta let me have it. Hmm?